be, pro-abortion and anti-war. And on the other hand, you got the other guys who are, pro-life and pro-war.
Yeah.
Right. We want him to grow up old enough so we can kill him instead of killing him really early.
He's got to go down in glory. It's glorious. What was it from that movie where Metallica did that song One? I can't remember. Johnny Got His Gun. And you've got this stuffy English general from, war has death has a dignity all its own in war. Like, get the... Yeah, put that on the tombstone. We'll be back in just a moment. Unfortunately, we're up against the break, and we're going into the last segment. We'll be back in just a moment here on the No State Project, here on American Freedom Radio, AmericanFreedomRadio.com.
We flipped our finger to the King of England, stole our country from the Indians, with all on our side and guns in our hand, took it for our own. Built a nation dedicated to liberty, justice and equality. Doesn't look that way to you, it doesn't look that way to me. Sickest joke I know. Listen up man, I'll tell you who I am. Just another stupid American. You don't wanna listen, you don't wanna understand, so finish up your drink and go home. I come from the land of Ben Franklin, Plain and Poe and all women. Otis Redding, Ellington, the country that I love. But it's the land of the slaves and the Ku Klux Klan. Haymarket riot and the Great Depression. Joe McCarthy, Vietnam, sickest joke I know. Listen up man, I'll tell you who I am. Just another stupid American. You don't wanna listen, you don't wanna understand, so finish up your drink and go home. I'm proud and ashamed every 4th of July. You've got to know the truth before you say that you got pride.
Welcome back to the No State Project. Unbelievably, at the last segment, it just goes entirely too fast. But Kurt Tischer and I are joined by Larken Rose. Larken, before we run out of time, give us your contact info.
It's easy enough to remember. LarkenRose.com, which is LarkenRose.com. All my writings and the books and everything are there. There's also youtube.com/LarkenRose.
Excellent. Kurt, what about you?
Thirdear.com. That's a numeric 3, RDEAR.com. That's my website for the pro audio and the web development stuff. And then there's my band. That's temple8.net. That's temple and the number 8.net. Check it out.
And what we're trying to do, I want to let everyone know, because we're running low on time. My workshops that are coming up, you can go to my website, markstevens.net, get more information on it. But I'm going to be in Lowell, Indiana next weekend, May 22nd, and then we got the Pork Fest, which is coming up. I think it's June 23rd to the 27th, and that's going to be in New Hampshire, in Lancaster, New Hampshire. And you can go. I have that linked on my website. So check that out. So if you guys are interested in going, and I want to now, Kurt, we're going to try to get you guys up there with your band Temple 8.
Cool. That would be excellent. As a matter of fact, it will work out logistically well for us because we're supposed to be at the Senator Theater in Baltimore on June 26th. So that's right around the time of Pork Fest, and if we're already going to be on the road, well, then there you go.
Hey, there you go. And I'd like to be, that'd be great to meet you there. And I'd also like to meet you, Larken. What's the chances that we're going to have Larken Rose there?
I will probably sneak up there. We actually own property up in New Hampshire, so I'll sneak up there, and it'll be for my birthday, too, June 24.
Awesome.
Well, fantastic. What are you going to be, 22?
14. Oh, hundreds of years old.
Sometimes it feels that way. When you're talking about a lot of this stuff, and if you deal with people at least as often as I do, because I'm on the phone with some of these people every day, and there's just some days where you just you got to stay professional, and you don't want to call oh listen jerky, there's a point. I'm usually working for somebody. Which I do if someone's interested in consultation, having me help on IRS case stuff or state tax stuff, especially state tax stuff with the Franchise Tax Board in California. You don't have to be an attorney. You can contact me at markstevens.net. We could do that. you really have to just start engaging in some disassociation and not taking it personally, because that's what they want. They want you to be frustrated, like you mentioned earlier, Larken. They just want to end this. They don't want to answer the question. So they'll use frustration and distraction very, very well to get you off the point.
Right. Yeah, and I even point out in Kicking the Dragon how the incompetence and ignorance of the IRS agents is one of their most potent weapons. Because when you're just dealing with complete clueless buffoons, you constantly have this feeling of, I give up. It's just so stupid trying to deal with these morons. I just give up. And then they win.
Yeah, and I just had, before we run out of time, a friend of mine here in the Valley, someone I've known for a number of years, had a traffic ticket thrown out recently, and what happened was, and this is the first one that I'm aware of that happened this particular way. Now, I've told people on the air many times that most of the time the motion template that is filed is not ruled on or denied, but 75% of the time the cop doesn't show up. Well, something different happened this past 2 weeks, I think it was, and Chad filed a motion. It was written for Arizona. And so he filed it, no cause of action. If there's no case of controversy, there's no standing. Court lacks jurisdiction. We get that. And the judge not only denied the motion, okay, skipped the trial and just imposed a fine. Right? So you figure, stuff up. Yeah, so you're figuring, well, that's easy to appeal. Well, that wasn't the end of the order. He didn't just skip the trial and impose the fine. He then suspended it.
Huh.
That's weird. So it could be appealed?
Well, it doesn't have to be appealed.
Right, because it's
suspended. So what I think, look, the end result is that he's left alone and it doesn't cost him any more of his time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we got that. I think what they're doing, it's just like when the cop doesn't show up. It's a nice way of saying, yeah, you're right, but I'll be damned if I'm going to admit it in writing. So,
right.
Why else would the guy skip the trial? No trial, impose a fine without a trial, and then suspend it? So, here's the challenge. You can contact me at markstevens.net. You can call next time we have a live show, 512-879-3805. If you have another rational explanation, and remember Occam's razor here, everybody, if you have another rational explanation as to why the judge did that, I am all ears. I'd love to hear that one.
It's just another piece of the puzzle as to, like what we were saying before with, anything they can do to avoid answering the question.
Right, just get it out of the courtroom, get it away, go back to doing what they do on a regular basis with people who don't think about things.
Yeah. Now they could turn around and say, well, Mark, he didn't do it for you because you're a hateful, fear-mongering scumbag. and your buddy Chad is a nice guy. He comes in, he's respectful and whatnot, and, he wasn't there. He filed a motion by mail and, then got this order in the mail. He never actually showed, but, I believe you're right. It's a way of saving face. Another way that they do it is they keep continuing the arraignment until they blow past the speedy trial deadline.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a busy docket, and then you or I, we have no evidence whatsoever that what was presented in the motion had anything to do with why the ticket was thrown out. All right, I don't care. To me, it doesn't matter. I am more interested in educating people and bringing about a voluntary society than getting some traffic tickets thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think
it's a little more important.
Yeah. I think it's great when they are thrown out. I love it. I do my little Irish jig, of course, every time. But it's not the main goal. The main goal is that we're bringing about a voluntary society gradually, where we're withdrawing our support and more support of our friends and family, and we gradually have the abolition of government. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Kurt Tischer.net. I appreciate you coming back on. I hope I can see you at PorkFest. And Larken Rose. Yeah, and Larken, real quick, give your contact information, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at PorkFest.
Yep, it's all at larkenrose.com, LARKENROSE.com.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, guys. I'm your host, Marc Stevens. And remember, government, no, nothing more than a group of men and women providing a service at the bar.